Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jackie and this is day 5 of Vlogmas 2024. Yay! So today is December the 5th and we have 19 days until Christmas. Today I'm going to show you my finished everyday balaclava by Petite Knit for my son. It's right beside me on my blocking mat, but I'm going to show it anyway. And then I have today's yarn, which was really somewhere hidden in my stash, but I finally found a project for it. And I really want to show you the yarn and hopefully cast this sweater on maybe in spring. So the yarn is out of my stash and knitted into a beautiful garment. So further ado, let's get started, I would say. I'm going to show you the everyday balaclava by Petite Knit first. I knitted the size 2 to 5 years. My son is currently 4 years old, and according to the head circumference, this size matched him pretty well. So I'm just going to show it from my blocking mat. So this is the everyday balaclava. I knitted it on the recommended needle size, which is 3.5 for all the balaclava portion, and then 3mm for all the ribbing. I think the gauge is 20 stitches per 30 rows, equals 4 inches or 10 centimeters. It's like a pretty good navy blue, marine blue. My son actually wanted a blue balaclava, so this color will be so good for him. And yes, I almost used 2 skeins, but I'm gonna enter my Ravelry down below. I saw that I forgot to add my Ravelry into my description box during the other Vlogmas vlogs, but I'm gonna enter it in this one. So you can check my Ravelry and then see all the project details, the size I made, the gauge, the needle sizes, yarn amount, yarn I used, all the information needed. I really need to cast on the second one as well. I have the same yarn for the second balaclava for my little son. He is 2 years old and I'm gonna make the size 1 to 2 years because he is quite small and he is smaller than average children in his age, so 1 to 2 years is still a bit big on him. I would say he has a bit more room and positive ease, but I think it will fit him pretty good. And I'm using the same yarn, Drip Daisy, but in a dark gray color. So this is the yarn I'm gonna use for my little son's balaclava. This is Drip Daisy as well, in the color 5. I think it's called 5 dark gray when you're shopping on the website. And I bought 2 skeins, and this will turn into a everyday balaclava as well. So enough of me rambling. Now I want to show you today's yarn. As I mentioned in previous Vlogmases before, I'm doing kind of like my own advent during Christmas because I don't have an advent calendar for myself. I only have some chocolate ones for my kids. And this yarn I'm going to show you right now is honestly a yarn that has been laying in my stash for over 2 years or 3 years. This yarn is 100% acrylic. I had this in my stash. I don't know what it was originally for, but I have a sweater quantity of this worsted weight yarn, and this is World of Yarns Malaga. I bought it from Hobby. They have a so big selection of different yarns, hand-dyed yarns, different mohairs, different wools, just anything you want to buy. And when I started knitting, I mostly knitted with acrylics because I thought it was cheap and good enough. But when I discovered animal fibers, I fell in love, and now I'm just only knitting with animal fibers. But this I really want to get rid of because I like the color and I really want to make a sweater with it. So this is 100% acrylic yarn, yes, and 100 grams, 165 meters. It has a recommended gauge of 17 stitches on 5mm needles, medium weight yarn, so I would call it like worsted or Aran even, and it's in the color 31. Online it was something like magenta, I think. And this yarn is not being sold anymore. But so I really needed a pattern that like uses up all my yarn and doesn't require more yarn. And I found the step-by-step sweater by Handmade by Florence. She also has a podcast on YouTube, which I watch regularly, and I love her podcast. I'm just gonna link it below so you can see and maybe check her out if you're interested in knitting podcasts. And she has a series on YouTube and in her Ravelry which contains basic patterns or patterns that are usable for beginner knitters. She has a sock pattern, which are the paddle drop socks, and then she has a cardigan, the step-by-step cardigan, and then the step-by-step sweater. And she has knitted 2 samples. One is a strapped version knitted in drops Nepal, and then she has the second version which was knitted in, I think it was Noro Medora, I think. And as I said before, I was searching for a pattern that would use up this acrylic yarn, and for my chosen size, I get rid of all the 5 skeins I have. So I have about 700 meters of worsted weight yarn, and this pattern just will eat it up almost completely. And I have a beautiful raglan basic sweater in this really nice magenta Bordeaux color. So that's just amazing. I get rid of yarn and it turns into a beautiful garment. And yes, perfect. So today's plan, I actually need to knit up more on my sample knit for a knitting designer. I'm currently not allowed to talk about it in depth because she hasn't released any content of it. So I have to wait until she released pattern and photos and anything. So I really need to get some progress on that done. And then I need to bake some muffins for my son's kindergarten, because in today's evening it's kind of like an advent meeting of parents and their children in the kindergarten. And I volunteered to bake some muffins and some little pizza thingies. So I need to get that done, and then I have to pick up my son. Then we eat some quick dinner, and then I'm heading my way to the advent meeting. So cool, so exciting. So I don't want to ramble too long. So I already edited the vlogmas of yesterday. It's already edited and scheduled on YouTube for today, so I have that off my list. And then when we get back home after the advent meeting, it's basically just knitting and eating and knitting. And yeah, I hope you guys like my vlogmas. I know I'm a beginner podcaster and knitter, but I just want to share my knitting and my everyday life as a mom of 2 children and an enthusiastic knitter. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I see you in the next one, or maybe later today, but I don't think I have anything more to say, so I'm just gonna do my everyday tasks now, and you can follow along, and I'll see you in the next one.